So assuming that you have once watched scene 1B at this point, let's talk about some of the potential breaches that are going on. Now, we still have the breaches that have occurred to guidelines 1, 2, and 4, but there's a new element on guideline 3 that emerges here where she's beginning to take information from some of the reparative and corrective studies and information, and what we find, and certainly what's espoused from the APA ethics and guidelines, is that these are not effective or safe practices, and that over time they've actually been shown time and time again to not be considered effective or safe. Okay, it can literally be dangerous. And yet she's engaging in those because, once again, she's practicing out of the scope of her knowledge and training. Guideline 6 gets triggered here, and the fact that she's starting to talk about sexual orientation as if it's the same thing as gender identity, and that's sometimes what happens in reparative or corrective practices. There's a huge body of work that has been building, and this goes back as early as some of the Oedipal dynamics that we talk about from Freudian work, but this whole sense that somehow we have internalized the wrong gender, and that what we're doing is somehow trying to consume the masculine from another versus live the masculine as gay men. And that basically such things as gender affirmative therapy does things like trying to reaffirm one's biological sex through gender expression that traditionally matches that. And this is certainly a breach to Guideline 6. This is not being treated as a unique expression. In fact, you'll see that the client is a little confused in that gender identity is a bit separate. He's actually okay with his gender expression, and that it's really about his confusion about his sexual orientation.